Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. I got a box here from Tenkara USA, and you are not going to want to miss this unboxing. So this is an outstanding way to kick off our fly fishing series. Tenkara USA is the first U.S. company to import Japanese-style Tenkara fishing. Now, Tenkara rods eliminates a lot of the equipment from traditional Western fly. In its purest form, you simply have a rod, you've got a line, and you've got a fly. Not only was Tenkara USA the first company to promote Japanese-style Tenkara fishing in the U.S., they're also the U.S. leader in gear and knowledge. Let's pop this box open and I'll show you what I've got. This is the Tenkara USA HANE. Now this is their compact rod. This one's designed for backcountry use. So not only is this rod light and short, it's also got a lot of backbone to it. So if I was to get into fish larger than I was anticipating, or for myself being a newer Tenkara caster, this is going to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit easier to use. So the protective tube here, I'm not sure if this is aluminum, but I've got a metal cap here, and this seals down with a gasket. So if I was to stow this in my canoe or leave this outside of the tent on a backpacking trip, I'm not going to be carrying around water all day. So in addition to the tube here, I also have a protective sleeve, and look how small that is. So there's our logo, and it's kind of got a knit pullover hole here. Wow. So that is really nice. I've got like a little impression of a fly here that might be a little hard for you to see. And there's the Tenkara USA logo here on the back side. So this is kind of like a foam grip handle. Let me get the overall length on this. So this rod is super compact. This is 15 inches. And when it extends out, this is a 10-foot, 10-inch rod. So this HANE is incredibly light. This is 3.5 ounces, but it's really sturdy. So if you look at the outside diameter of the exposed part of the rod, this is something I can just slip into a day pack. I can slip this in my belt. Heck, I can carry this thing in my back pocket, a haversack, and just have a rod with me when I come across a stream and have the opportunity to fish. So I'm going to take this keeper off and we'll expand this rod. So these rods are completely collapsible, and you always want to start on the large end. They taper down to an incredibly fine tip. So here's what I'm talking about as far as a fine tip. This is like something you would find in a mechanical pencil. So this is extremely fine. This is definitely something you want to take care of. You want to keep the tip of this rod either extended in fishing or tucked back in the base of the rod itself. So this rod is incredibly sensitive, and you saw how thin that tip was. But when I kind of give it a little jiggle here, the base of the rod and the backbone itself is pretty stiff. You see I don't have a lot of movement here. So that's telling me right away that I don't have to worry about getting into bigger fish. So this is going to flex for me. Because this is a shorter Tenkara rod, I'm going to be able to use it in smaller backcountry streams. But if I get into a situation where I hook up with a bigger fish or I get into an alpine lake, I don't have to worry about getting larger fish than this rod can handle. So this rod's got great balance as well. I'm going to go ahead and put everything back in. So I've got one. This is the second section. There's the third section. There's my fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9, 10, and there's my 11th. Then we're going to put our keeper back on. And now we've got this rod transformed back into carry mode. So that's enough to get me really excited, but wait, there's more. I've actually got the starter kit as well. So the Tenkara USA starter kit has a line holder. I've got line, I've got tippet, I've got Tenkara flies, I've got forceps, as well as line nippers. And I've got this little bag to keep everything organized. So inside that starter kit, I have an instruction booklet, and this is nice to have with you out in the field. Now this goes along with the hours of videos that's already on the Tenkara USA site. So I also have a tapered line and some 5X tippet. So the tools are logoed as well. There's my nipper, And I've got a pick here to clean the eyes of a fly. And there's a look at the forceps. So this is the line holder, and this just slips right over the HANE or any Tenkara rod. And this is the simplicity of the system. Right here is my rod, my line. I've got tackle on here as well, all ready to go. So with this, I've got room for either 2 lines, or I could carry a line and tippet right in these 2 sections. And then right here, I've kind of got a micro fly box. So I can peel that open. And I can carry a small selection of the Tenkara flies. Now, if you haven't seen Tenkara flies yet, the hackles are actually backwards on these compared to a traditional Western fly. So I can wrap this up where everything's completely contained, slide this over, or if I'm going to be fishing later that day, I can leave the line on my rod. And if that's the case, I'm just going to wrap the line around this Tenkara line holder. I've got a spot where I can clip my fly in, and it's going to make it that much quicker to get off the trail and on the water. I also have a box of flies here. So this is a dozen Tenkara flies. So this comes in a hard case, and this is actually pretty darn light. So this is not something that I would be concerned about adding weight to my pack with. And there is the selection of Tenkara flies. So as I mentioned, Tenkara flies are a little bit different. Besides the reverse hackle, they're not so much designed to match the hatch. So you're not going to find exactly what type of bug or what type of larvae that the fish are eating on. These are interpretive flies, so they just give a suggestion of multiple types of insects. So I've got the instruction book that came with the starter kit, and I also have hours of instructional video on the Tenkara USA website. But Tenkara USA actually wrote the book on this, so I do have a copy of the book as well. This is by the owner, Daniel Galhardo. So Tenkara is a pretty intuitive system, and it can be fairly simple, but to get the most out of the system and the gear that you're using, you probably need to learn some of the advanced techniques. And this book is going to get you started in the right direction. This is not intended to be a review. I'm going to go over all these items in more detail as I get to use them and get more familiar with them. But as a baseline, so when you see me out there with this rod and when you see me out there with some of this gear or demonstrating some of these techniques that's found in the book, you're going to be able to reference back to this video and see exactly what I've got. So if this is the kind of thing you like, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at outdoorcore.com. I could not be more impressed with this HANE rod. And the great thing about Tenkara USA is you're dealing with one company that has everything. So you can literally get your starter kit. You can pick the rod that would best suit the location and the type of fishing you plan on doing. You can get lines, accessories, flies, as well as knowledge all in one place. So definitely head over there and check them out. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.